There are only about 100 days left in 2025. What do you want to see happen before the new year begins? We are discussing how to identify a goal and make it happen before the year runs out today on the Catholic Money Show.
Welcome back to this episode of the Catholic Money Show, and we are about 100 days out from the end of the year.
Yes, a few more than that,
shocking.
But give you a little heads up on it, I guess.
You know, we could also say that we're, more than 200 days into the year?
True.
A little glass half full, glass half empty kind of analogy, kind of thinking. However is going to
making me thirsty.
Most help you think about this. We do have limited time for 2025. For some people, they're already sitting back, kicking their feet up, excited about the year that has already happened. And they've racked up a bunch of wins, and they're just continuing that progress or even resting as we head into the final months of the year. But I'm going to guess that there's a few people out there who are thinking, what's even happened yet in 2025?
What happened?
A little bit of getting sucked into the vortex here, a crisis there, a little bit of autopilot there, and next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, you're wondering, what was really the defining thing or things that happened in 2025? And rut-row, if there aren't any, if there weren't any big goals that I went into the year hoping would be accomplished, actually ticked off the box mark, how do I make sure that these last 100 days get me something?
Because these last few can be a bit of a doozy. Right?
Yeah, they really can be.
Later this month, we're going to hit, Halloween. Maybe not the biggest deal, but there's usually a lot of planning, a lot of getting sucked into it, especially if you've got kids, getting the costumes, buying the candy, all that. Then before you know it, we're in November. We've got Thanksgiving coming up. Then it's Christmas. Then it's New Year's.
Whoops.
Now we missed our shot.
And especially enhanced in our family, I think almost everyone has a fall birthday.
We got a lot of birthdays.
We have at least 80 to 90% of those in our immediate family, but also extended family have fall birthdays. There's a birthday party almost weekly here until the week before Christmas. So there really is a risk on this last quarter of the year being a little bit of a banana peel. Your foot's on a banana peel and then whoosh, this thing could just go out from under you. And then next thing you know, you're limping into 2026 thinking, what even happened last year? Maybe you have racked up a few wins, but you really want to start. You want to finish strong.
Yeah, and think, I don't know, you could think, all right, yeah, I usually, all right, guys, I make a New Year's resolution. My brain just works better thinking about a goal for the year, looking at, 2026 coming up. But I'm thinking about it like when I was a kid. I still ride my bike around, but I did a lot more when I was a kid. And there are a whole lot more hills in eastern Pennsylvania than there are here in Nebraska.
That's true.
And so I would need to pay attention to what was going on. If I wanted to make it up the next hill, I needed to have my plan. And as I was coming down this hill, I couldn't just let up. I couldn't just enjoy the ride.
Coast.
But as I was coming down, I had to start pedaling, start getting ready, start putting in a little bit of work so I could take that momentum and bring it through with me to the next hill. So
what you're saying is potentially how 2026 is going to go. Sometimes teeing up the end of 2025 could be just the ticket.
Absolutely. The way you really finish 2025 is going to be the way you start 2026. So, right, when we were starting our financial turnaround, when we were getting out of debt, when we started budgeting, it took a little while to figure out budgeting. If we started, it lined up for a new year.
We got married late October, but then it took a good part of November and December just to kind of figure out.
First to convince me to do anything.
And that took November. And then it took December to just learn the skill of budgeting, what software we're going to use, bada bing, bada boom. Next thing you know, we were 1 week out from the new year. So it just worked out. But we shouldn't always just wait for the new year to turn before taking action.
Yeah. For instance,
when it's the right time, you're supposed to strike.
You've got a perfect amount of time, I think, to start developing that budgeting habit, which is going to build that momentum going up whatever the hill may be of your next goal. Mm-hmm. You're going to have that tool already in your belt. So there's a lot you can do right now. That's kind of the importance here of this end of year goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's dive into it. Let's actually talk about coming up with your last 100-day goal. Did you say 100 year? Or did I mishear that?
I don't know. But one of us is really into long-term planning, if that's the case.
Planning out your whole life.
And then
when you're midlife. Anyway,
it's my 139th birthday party. We will have
Baggins.
Liquid cake. Because I won't be able to chew anything.
Okay, 100 days. We've got about 100 days left in the year. Now, before we come up with the practical thing that we want to decide on for the last 100 days of the year, I think it behooves us to just do a little bit of a stewardship assessment, a check-in on how 2025 has gone so far.
Yes, that's good.
And I'm not going to say, you mentioned learning the skill of budgeting. I'm not even going to project what it is that you need the goal to be around. It might need to be around money. 9 times out of 10, you need to have a money goal before you end up going off to that other goal you have. Money is typically involved at some level. It might be other things, but you need to do a stewardship assessment. What has happened this year so far? Name off those wins, the losses, the lessons learned, the things you wish you would have known, the things that you wish would have gone a little bit differently, or the things you thought, man, that just went off without a hitch. You've got to take an assessment over all of those things. And then from that space, you can come up with what might that goal be for these last 100 days or goals. So you need to take time. If you need to hit pause on this podcast episode and do that right now, kudos to you. I go ahead and commend you to go ahead and do that, or set aside time later at a coffee date and do that. But you need to do a little bit of a review, a bit of an assessment on how's the year so far. The things that I went into 2025 hoping would be true about my life or my work or my health or my kids or my marriage or my prayer life or my finances. Are they true, or are they not true at all? Or are they partially true? Just be honest about where those things are. And then the next step would be to really identify this 100-day sprint strategy. And I think honing in on 1 to the maximum of 3 goals.
Maybe 3.
That's it. And I'm not even saying in your spiritual life 1 to 3. And then over here with your kids, 1 to 3. And then here with your marriage, 1 to 3. Here with your health, 1 to 3. With your finances, 1 to 3. Nope. 1 to 3 across all of it. If you are, and it might just be 1.
Yes. And it's not to say you shouldn't be looking and striving for excellence in all areas of your life, or that you shouldn't be trying, to do, if my goal is maybe to some health goal, well, that doesn't mean I just get to be a dumb jerk husband because that's not my goal right now, honey. No, you still try to be good on some things, right? Try to maybe kind of keep up what you're doing right now. But what is that maybe one thing that you want to make sure happens, or you want to see some change in before the end of the year? Where's the extra energy going to go if we funnel it into one goal, one thing? There's going to be some energy there. If it's spread out all over the place, you won't even detect the difference.
Exactly. So really that 1 to 3 things spread out over whatever. It could all be in one area, but typically we're going to need a couple of areas that we spread things out on. But you really need to think about, when I show up on January 1, what do I really wish was done? Chapter closed. This thing happened. What do you really, really wish was true in that moment when we're 100 days in the future. That's going to give you a little bit of guidance on what you should pick. Sometimes it's not always going to be what we want to pick. It's going to be what we have to pick.
Yes,
so
what's needed.
Something for Jonathan that I already know is part of his last 100 days is that taxes, that pesky taxes extension that we utilized back in April, but we're coming up real tight here. And that's just like gotta happen. So one of our 1 to 3 things is taxes. That stinks. That's no fun, but it does have to happen. And our family needs to make decisions around making that happen. And that, in many ways, gives us a big fat NO on a lot of the other things we might want to do until October 15th.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And that's okay. So sometimes it's going to be things you want to have happen, and sometimes it's going to be things that you need to have done or you must have happen. So whatever that might be, you can discern between the two, but you do not want to have more than a maximum of 3 things. But probably err on the side of 1 to 2.
Yes.
3 if you're really going to be willing to stretch yourself. But again, we're going into the holidays. We're going into that end of the year. It's just a natural time for a ton of activities, a ton of things. Do you remember December? December and May, they feel very intricately linked in the sense of it's all the end of the semester things. Everybody's got a concert. Everybody's got a recital. Everybody's got a tournament. There's all the last things. And then everybody wants to have a party for the last thing. And it's one of those vortexes where you're sucked in and spat out every day for a month. So just know that's coming. So we want to err on the side of let's make sure we get our 1 to 2, maybe 3 things done. So that means we need to really, really get focused, really get clear, get specific. And what are the things that are going to make us the most proud when we do get to 2026? That, you know what? Who cares how 2025's gone up to this point? I got blank done in the last 100 days. That feels awesome. Absolutely. In many ways, it can be a year-defining thing. I finally blank. What is that going to be? That thing where you're going to wear it with a badge of honor. Is that the right phrase?
Yeah.
You're going to be excited to say that you had that thing happen or that came true. What is it going to be? That should be part of your 100-day sprint.
Now, there's a lot of talk about New Year's resolutions. I think mostly just because it's a helpful starting point. It's already picked out for you. Oh, new year? Perfect. I'll start a new thing. But we can have a new beginning anytime. No, it is helpful to have a date picked out, a reason to do something, or a reason to get something done by. So,
love a good staging of a crisis.
Oh, yes, you do.
It's the only way I get anything done.
It's the only way
I get you
me to get anything done.
Yes. That's more accurate. Oh, John, the cleaners are coming by.
Yeah.
That project has to be done.
Yes. So there are a lot of great opportunities to get things started or to get things done by or to have a checkpoint along the way. So make sure you're on the progress towards the end of the year coming up in our liturgical life.
We're Catholic. We have like 1,000 awesome days. Well, there's only 365 in a year. We have at least 50 amazing feasts or days throughout the year that you can just latch onto as an anchor for either getting something done by or starting something by.
Yes, that's
so
right.
many.
Yeah.
So what are some in the last 100 days?
Let me...
just pull out your old big Catholic planner. Make it nice and easy.
Yeah, got my big list of dates and things. But I'd say, and again, some of this is going to vary based on who you got devotion to, right?
Yeah.
We've got Charles Borromeo coming up. Big for us because he's our parish patron.
Yeah.
But maybe not for you. And that's okay. So these are maybe some of the bigger ones, but there may be even more depending on you.
Yeah.
So we got Teresa of Avila. Gotta love her.
Biggie, doctor of the church.
Bing bang.
JP2.
JP2, of course.
Our family patron saint. We were married on his first ever feast day.
That's right. Big
but
fan.
A lot of people are huge fans of him.
Yeah, we've got All Saints Day. And if you need one more day to get something done, you got All Souls Day.
Or if it's different motivation, like something could be, it's painful and you don't really enjoy whatever you're going to do. Like you're going to get into the habit of intermittent fasting. And so All Souls would be great because now you're going to offer it for the souls.
Yes.
We always have an angle, a way to back into this.
Always a reason to squeeze some juice out of that suffering. And then, of course, we've got the liturgical New Year, Advent. We've got the
actual New Year.
Yes, so maybe a New Year's resolution there, or maybe you want to just speed yourself up a little bit. Who needs 100 days? I'm going to go to get this done by Advent.
Mm-hmm. Which I think this year starts on the Feast of St. Andrew, which would be another notable date.
Of course.
So a lot of people pray the Christmas novena. That is November 30th this year, his feast day. So there are all these important days. And then, of course, we get into December, we've got the Immaculate Conception.
Yes.
We've got feast days.
Oh, antiphons, all sorts of
things. We
things.
got them all. And it's just a matter of picking them and using them as motivation for that renewal, for that fresh start, or for that closing line.
Yeah.
I know a couple of years ago, I love to stage a good crisis. I had it in my head. We were in the adoption process for the 4th time for adopting our son, James. And it was about August, late August, early September. And I just had it in my stomach, like, we've got to get this stinking paperwork done. Like, the paperwork journey for adoption can be such a slog. Oh, man, it's tough. And it was just one of those, it's never going to call to us and make us get it done. It's always going to be the last thing to do. It's always going to be the thing we avoid. It's just get this stinking thing across the finish line. So I created an artificial deadline by our anniversary, October 22nd. We needed to have it all done. We needed it out of our hands, everything turned in. And then it's on JP2's back. It's his to deal with. That was kind of the way I looked at it. And we have that opportunity as Catholics. And he was going to intercede for us as we were getting this paperwork done. And then he was going to be an intercessor as we entered into this process. And what do you know? Literally the last day. Do you remember this?
No.
It was our anniversary. We had everything done paperwork-wise. And I'd been hustling as we were getting close to this. And you had been hustling. We had one thing left to do. It was to get our fingerprints taken. But we couldn't do it in Nebraska because we were working with a Texas agency. And I was freaking out because we were going to, a week prior, the closest place we could go get them done was like 4 hours away. And I was thinking
in
about
another state,
how we could drive down to Missouri and get our fingerprints and get back. And we don't have childcare. And it was just really stressful. And then I remembered that we had a speaking engagement on our anniversary in Texas. It was like JP2 teed it up. And it was a Saturday, so I was freaking out because I thought, oh no, nobody's open. No fingerprint places are open. A gun shop.
Bingo. Like the gun mart or something.
The gun mart.
I think that's one of
some back room with no windows. I felt
yeah.
so bad for the guy working there. We walked in, got our fingerprints done, and then boom, it was out of our hands on JP2's feast day. Then I think right after that, we went out to an anniversary dinner.
Bang, bang.
But had we not staged that crisis with that feast day, I mean, I very easily could have just been like, oh, by the end of the year. It's easy to just kind of slide into the end of the year. The saints are with us. They want to be there for us. They're okay if we use their feast day as a little bit of leverage to just get us engaged and to get us across the finish line. They're there interceding for us, and they're happy to be the staged crisis to help us get moving on God's will in our life.
So use them.
Use them.
Yeah. And something else I think would be helpful for you to use is the Big Catholic Planner.
So I'll go out on a limb and say this is actually how you're going to get it done. So talk about that more specifically, Jay.
Well, the Big Catholic Planner is not merely a great planner that helps you get your things done in the lens, in the perspective of the liturgical life, with feast days, with novenas, all that in here. But it's also a top-notch organizational planner too. You define your roles. You understand what your to-dos are. You put them on the dates. You've got hour by hour for each day of the week from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And if you really needed to, you could probably squeeze in 4:30 to 11 if you worked, where their lines aren't. But we keep getting comments about the planner, how helpful it is for people to get things done, how they finally have a planner that gives them enough time in the day for where they're living their life, where they're not, starting their day at 8 and going to bed at 6. They've got other things going on that they need to take care of. This helps you do that. You can devote one of these columns in here to your goal that you're working on. Exactly. What needs to happen for the goal? Give it a whole column. You understand what needs to happen, pick the day it's going to happen on, write it down, make it happen with the Big Catholic Planner.
Yep. And that, I'm going to just, again, go out on the limb. This is going to be how you get it done. So we've helped you maybe identify and assess the year, take inventory, take stock, identify what those 1 to 3 things are going to be that you really need to see happen for the rest of the year. When you want to see them happen by or start by. And then what's actually going to hold you accountable in the moment? What is going to be that thing that pulls you towards integrity to honor your commitments to yourself? It's going to be the planner, because there you're getting it all out of your head, all the mental drama that we can play with ourselves, the things that we stay up at night thinking about, making sure we don't forget, writing down on little scraps of paper. It's all just in one spot. And then you're going to be able to identify what are the things that you need to start working on in order to make this bigger goal happen. Sometimes goals have 3 or 4 things that need to get broken down within it. Others, it's just taxes. I guess hunting on the paperwork, submitting it to the CPA, there's things still. But coming up with those little micro things that you've got to get done on your way to the bigger thing being accomplished. The planner's where you're going to break all that down and where you can actually budget your time week after week after week over these next 100 days so that it doesn't just sneak up on you in December and then ruh-roh. The planner all along was your best friend in helping you map out the goal, but also mark down the times when you were going to work on it, when you were free in your calendar, making sure that, you didn't just lose this last 100 days to the chaos of life, the holidays, the end of the year fatigue, or doom scrolling, or bed rotting, whatever the newest term is. It's going to help hold you accountable, invite those ideas to come out of your brain, get them written down on paper. We like to then combine our planner with a weekly meeting that we have together. That's kind of that 1-2 punch. We did just get done selling our academic year 2025-2026 Big Catholic Planner. And with that, when you got the bundle, we actually taught a workshop on how to have these weekly meetings. And we're actually rolling out the pre-sales for our 2026 planner this week.
That's right.
And in the bundle, we're going to also give you access to that workshop about hosting these weekly meetings and going after your goals. So if you're looking for that 1-2 punch and you want the strategy of the planner, but also how to actually pull it all together in a weekly meeting with your spouse and to actually have effective time management strategies within your marriage and your family life, bada bing, bada boom. The 2026 Big Catholic Planner is here.
That's right.
For pre-sales. And there's never going to be a cheaper price than the early bird pre-sale price.
Yes, you'll get the most goodies, the best price by pre-ordering now at bigcatholiccalendar.com.
Bada bing, bada boom. So There you go. I would love to hear from those of you who are listening to this. What's your 1, 2, maybe 3 goal that you're going to work on between now and the end of the year? Message us. We're at WalletWin on most social media platforms. Email at walletwin.com. You can reach out to us. Tag us on social media. I want to know what that thing is, and I want to help you. I want to cheer you across the finish line as you prioritize it and get it done. So please let us know. And then head on over to bigcatholicalendar.com and order your 2026 planner or wall calendar or both in the bundle. Yeah, that's all I got for now.
Yeah, so get ready, get going, and get started on those goals. And we offer you the Big Catholic Calendar and Planner to help you along. Until next time.
Bye for now.